power station all cleared out, and I'm gonna try to figure out how to take this top off. One thing you're aware of, these are Robinson bits. Robinson size 2. So they're square shape. Just about everything in the camper. So like these down in the corner, all these, they're holding up the propane line as well as the electrical lines all throughout the camper. The square bits, some exceptions. These are the Phillips, but looks like I'm primarily going to be dealing with the square bits. Also gonna have to undo these fasteners that are going up into this, and hopefully once those fasteners are off, it does not seem like there's glue holding this together, but maybe there is a little bit of glue. So yeah, just little by little, see what happens. Little guys, always good to have a Ziploc or a bowl. I prefer Ziploc because it can't tip over a Ziploc. Keep them in a Ziploc so you know where they are. Yep, gonna need a extension for that. Actually, it's probably worth a mention. I have to adjust my strategy a little bit on some other stuff. This is okay, that's just barely gonna work, but this is hitting that, so that nearly didn't work. And I'm gonna also have to deal with issues of, like over here, getting close to the wall there. I may not be able to do it, so I have to figure out something there. Also, the fastener sizes are different depending on what they're going in. The real little guys, those are for going into just the bottom end of this. But if it's something thicker, like the underside of this thing or the framing, it is thicker. So there are two different size fasteners, just a little bit different in length. And then also looking at other stuff, that right there looks like that's another fastener size also. You can see it's going all the way through this and into this, so it's probably going to be the longest of those fasteners here and there, and then along the wall going up. Alright, so now that allows propane and electrical wires to come down and get out of the way. Over here, as well as over here. So that fully pulls it away from the wall. So we're gonna get that one. Oh, we got that one. That's good. And probably take that off the wall too, just to clear some vertical space. And then yeah, start working on these that are going up into the top. The longest screws by far so far are the ones that were going into the foam, the fiberglass foam wall, in this case to mount this fuse box for the diesel heater. And this one was kind of a challenge. I mean, this lower hole was fine. This upper hole was really tough because you got this ceiling to work with. What I had to do is kind of pivot this around just so I could get an extension into there, and that allowed me to get that extension just barely in. to get at the hole and pull it out. But just a little bit of trial and error. That's the hardest one so far, and then I think the next hardest ones are again going to be getting these guys that are specifically the ones by the wall, just real close to that wall there. Hopefully the extension is enough, and then if it isn't, I'm going to play around with, I've actually never used this, but it's a gift from a relative. It's a Super Brand Tools, and it's kind of a silly thing, but yeah, I mean, theoretically, you know, you put this end in the drill, it spins this end, and it'll spin at theoretically any angle, even 90 degrees. So that may be the way to do that. In fact, I may just play around with that right away and just see how well it does. But yeah, Smart Brand Tools. So just attach this, and yeah, indeed, I mean, it can be all the way around, and it spins it. So it really is any angle. It's pretty wild. That is really cool. Huh. So again, that was Super Brand Tool. Super Brand Tools Super Bit. Huh. So this one, you can spin up in here. Sometimes it likes to curl around like a snake sometimes if you have it at a really weird angle, or particularly like twisty shape like this. Oh, but even that works. Who knows? Sometimes, there it goes, like that. It'll kind of spin on itself a little bit, but otherwise, just really cool tool. Really cool. Yeah, tool extension, and have you. Let's see. Let's get that one. So, oh, I thought I filled it. Filled it out. Yeah, I got that. Oh, it popped out. Let's get that a little better. This one's being a little tough, so I can't see. Yeah, it's also high torque stuff. It's pretty torqued in there, so it struggles with that a little bit, it seems like. Hopefully I'm not stripping it. This one's the toughest by far. There we go. Got it. Nice, and these screws are a little different in shape. So I've got long unthreaded part and then a threaded part. Option. Trouble is, this particular screw wants to come out towards this wall, and so as a result you kind of have to get at this angle to it, so come from the wall and poke into it. And it's really tough even with this thing to like get that angle and also keep it pointed in enough. Have enough grab on the bit. Ha! Let's see, are we stripping our bit? Bit's looking okay. Ha! This one's a doozy. It's a very tough angle. I mean, fortunately, oh look at that. I think we've unscrewed it enough to take this off. So that's really to provide, this comes off of it, so it's not holding this top into it anymore. So I think I'm going to wait until this is off and hopefully get more access to finish that screw off. And we'll keep working around, getting the stuff we can. And the other thing, this is clearly lifting up, so that's telling us this cabinet, at least this piece, this top, is not glued down. So that's really great. It looks like we just got to track down all the fasteners in order to lift this up and then get top-down access. So that is excellent, as I did not look forward to prying very slowly to let the glue give way. This is much preferred. Again, that screw wants to go out towards this wall instead of towards me. Towards me is great because I can counter push that. But when it's away like that, it's hard to get this angle to push into the screw. Oh man, it's a tough one. Yes! Whew, that one fully came out. Oh. Almost wonder if it would have been easier to just undo the side ones, you know, holding this whole cabinet in, pull the whole cabinet out perhaps. But I don't know. There's a lot of attachments in all ways, so. Okay, we've got the front lip over here. Means I still got the back ones. That's for now. I'll show you what we're dealing with these tough screws. So this is one of those tough screws that, as you can see this, instead of pointing like my finger is, it's pointing the opposite of my finger. It's almost perpendicular. If it was pointing in the way my finger is, it'd be nice to, it'd be able to be counterable. You can push pressure on it and it'll come out like this. But as it stands, it's coming like my thumb is this way. So I have to get the bit coming from the wall into the bit in order to apply pressure. And as you can see, as it comes further and further out, it gets closer and closer to the wall, and it's just harder and harder to fit that bit between the drill bit, which is my thumb in this case. It's harder to fit my thumb. If you can imagine my thumbnail, see my thumbnail can't even match that angle unless I'm out here. But when I try to cinch it in there, I can't get the thumbnail angled. And that's the trouble with the drill bit. Trying to keep hold of this screw the whole way out. So, but fortunately, we got it enough where this can detach. So, we've screwed it out enough for now. Hopefully these guys are a little less challenging, but we'll see. Ooh, really gotta reach in. Oh, ways for that. Interesting. We've got just really great flexibility here, but we need the flexibility if I feel like that close. Oh, that one almost seemed like it grabbed, but we didn't have enough. Oh, pull it there. All right, it's time for a water break. So now, went in. So I just have a vice grip that's holding the bit itself, and even that, it's just the bit itself. It's hard to even get a good angle. It's like the bit itself needs to be shorter. So I'm down to, I think, the answer, I think, is just not to use the bit at all. And I'll just try to get a handle on this with a vice grip. And try to rotate it. Just little by little. Alright, take another break, or probably I just stop filming and just keep going with this. Alright, I got this corner one out enough, and it just through brute force. So we'll try. I think it's still, this was a better angle than this guy was, but I'll try to get it. Lost torque in this a little bit, so maybe we've over torqued it. My head in here, I can't quite reach the same way with my hands. Man, it's a tough case. Looks like this one and that one. Oh gosh. Oh, okay. So that's good. This one's not attached enough. I guess we did pull this guy out enough to fully secure, or fully unsecure. Whew. So this whole side can just come up. Okay, so we did enough. Wow, those are some tough cookies, but we got it. So to work on those is using this pillow here, so I could essentially set my neck onto that without snapping my neck. Oh, yep, and smack myself in the eye with the camera. Oh, yep, you did indeed break it. Yeah, so required a little more torque than this was able to transfer. So, yep, on the hold. Tools out of it. Well, it sure was spiffy while it lasted. Whew, this is very good. Another thing I had on hand was, so the drill bit extensions. This is a 1/4 inch, and on hand had a 1/4 inch at the end of kind of a screwdriver form factor. So this will fit the bit, and then it'll just be a matter of, can I get enough torque this way as well as get the right angle in order to do it. I think. And then the other option is, since I know this is a 1/4 inch fits this bit, I could then get a 1/4 inch with a ratchet. I can't find a ratchet that small on hand, so right now I just have this, but that could potentially be another solution, is to have a 1/4 inch drive ratchet that accepts this bit, and then I have ratchet, and that should give me a lot of torque, and then it's just a matter of whether this bit will stay in when that much higher torque is applied. So worth a shot. I mean, and I can do this over here, so I got all this space here. I've got this shelf, you know, it's very tight over here, so it's near impossible. But I'll see what we can do with this. Okay, provide us a little bit of an angle. We'll see. Okay, something, maybe I missed something underneath. Oh, there is another one in that corner. That's why. Okay. Yes, it's unfortunate. So these fasteners, did I tell you, they go too far. There's burrs on the other side. That's really unfortunate, especially since right on the other side of that was electrical and propane. It's like, that's exactly not where you want burrs sticking out on the backside. It's
if you take
not cool. This one, yeah, this is a, I know you get me one of these, it's a little more hardy. Oh, it's easy when it's easy. Oh, man, those are really hot screws when they come out, though. They were really, yeah, some of them are, they're pretty high torque. Yeah, some of them.
You may want to let them cool before you put them in plastic.
Oh.
You did it. It's done.
Yes.
Good job.
Okay. Yes. Well, there was actually one more, but it gave way. So there's this burr sticking up. Success! But now it should be very easy to get access to that, as well as these other ones. Sweet! Around, looking down on the cabinet. And look at here, here's the burrs sticking out. And yeah, that's like a, well, it's a good 3/8 or so sticking out. They're pretty good spikes. So I get this stapled. Oh, it's nice they didn't glue this though. That would have been a pain.
Well, you could get shorter screws too.
Well, it's just with how thin this is, it's not going to be a good. They really shouldn't have used screws for that.
Yeah.
That's not a good attachment.
Well, but it's no different than having another screw.
Well, no, I mean that's what I mean is it's good attachment for, but with the caveat of burrs. To have this good of an attachment without burrs, you want to have like a thread. You need to through bolt it and squeeze it. It's the only way. I mean, with this thin of a piece, it's not.
Or you
not
could
real
piece
secure.
another piece of wood on the other side if you.
Sure. Well, that could have been the other thing. They could have just put one more of these pieces on the back side to complete the picture, for sure.
I've got pieces of wood like that you can use.
Yeah.
'Cause that's a
Well,
three-
then I'd
three-quarters.
need a slightly longer screw then too.
No, I don't think
But
you do.
it's also, since they see how they have this,
Yeah.
if this was just was taller, they have already got this board inside, you know. If this was taller, it could have been a backing for this, you know, and then it would have solved it. But. Cool. All right, it's all opened up.